Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. It is a big day today for all the Arizona TEXIT people. The big meeting today at Barrio Brewing starts at 5:30. So the food will be out at 5:30. Show up as close as you can to 5:30. The heart of the meeting will get going at 6 o'clock because, obviously, rush hour, drive time, people got to work. So we'll start at 5:30. We'll get into the heart of the meeting at 6 o'clock. Listen, it's going to be a big crowd. It's going to be a lot of people there. So we'll get through as much of this as we can, and then we'll continue to have more meetings in the future. If you want to make sure that you have a seat, call us right now at 800-951-0592. Reserve your spot for the big TEXIT meeting today. We are very fortunate. Yesterday, we had the dude, the man, Steve Walsh, who is back with us today. He will be at the meeting tonight. We have Angie, another TEXIT Ranger, that's going to be at the meeting tonight. Today, we have the leader, the founder, a guy who has been fighting for sound money for several decades, a guy that's going to be giving the keynote speech at Ron Paul's 90th birthday. Bobby Gray, he's back with us once again. Bobby, thank you. I know how busy you are now. Thank you so much for joining us.
That's me. I'm
and
here.
Sharing your
my
vision
pleasure.
of TEXIT with all of us.
It's really my pleasure, and thanks so much. And you know what's so important about these in-person meetups, man? Guys get to come out and look you in the eye and see if you're telling the truth. There's nothing that beats that handshake and that moment where you stare each other down and say, this is a real project. These are genuine people. They seem actually legitimately concerned about this mission of getting the control of the issuance of money back in the hands of the people. They're real. They come off as sincere. And that's a rocket ship that I want to be on. And that's what's going to happen tonight at the event. Don't miss it.
Yeah, we're really, really excited. And listen, last minute, something changes. When something changes at the left, don't worry, show up. All of a sudden, hey, I didn't think I was going to make it, but my schedule's changed. Or all of a sudden, a buddy of mine wants to come. Bring him. Everybody's welcome. We will figure it out when we get there.
Right.
But Bobby,
it may be standing room only. You might have to squeeze people in. You might have to ask the existing miners to move to the back of the room so the new people that want to hear it direct from the horse's mouth can get nice front row seats. But, what's really valuable is that people come out, they look you in the eye, and they see our community. And they go, this is a real thing, and it's growing. And when you do these meetings again and again and again, and those groups get bigger and bigger and bigger, it's mind-blowing. It's really encouraging to see that you're getting in with something that's good. It's got a good plan, a good model, and it's working. And that can't be beat.
Yeah, I absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to, like I said, we'll have a few hiccups, but it's going to be a great time. We're going to answer as many questions as we possibly can. But so many things. Bobby, we had you on, 6-8 weeks ago. And it's amazing the growth that we have seen. We were at a little over 3,000 miners. It looks like the way things are going, we're going to have over 10,000 miners this week. It looks like we may sign up 1,000 people this week. And the mine keeps growing. You guys got a new location getting ready to open up. Give us the latest and the greatest of the growth of TEXIT.
Well, look, it's starting to click, right? A year and a half ago, this thing was a twinkle in my eye. April 2024, I felt good enough about it to invite friends and family along, guys that knew me and my work ethic, right? last November, we hit profitability, which was a big thing. It was like, oh, now we can actually start allocating capital to advertising and promotion. We went live on billboards around DFW in January, late January, and from there it was just, it's all over. The amount of cash every week that we put back into promotion and marketing is insane. And we're just scratching the surface right now of using that budget. And all we're doing with those campaigns is just general branding. We just want people to become aware. I said probably 2 months ago, I want every person in the state of Texas to have heard about TEXIT inside the next 3 months. And we're almost there between the airport advertising and DFW, the largest passenger traffic airport in the country. Now we're going live in Houston Hobby, Houston Intercontinental, the billboards all over the state. I mean, what happens is people see what we're doing and they join. That growth creates cash that we need to continue promotion. The promotion creates growth. And now all of a sudden it's on this runaway train of this self-reinforcing strategy that really has no end in sight. And that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's getting really exciting. Now you guys have billboards going up in other states, other cities, and this thing just seems like it continues to grow and grow. I noticed we're going to be coming up on a break here, Bobby. I noticed some things breaking this morning on Telegram. That's kind of big news. I'd like to, maybe share that. And then also mine expansion, maybe touch on that a little bit as well when we get back. Listen, you guys are listening to Bobby Gray, the founder of TEXIT Coin, the big TEXIT meeting here in Phoenix this afternoon. Well, I guess this evening. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason, we've got Bobby Gray with us just for about another 15 minutes, and then Bobby's got to run. The big meeting tonight, we'll talk about that more in a little bit. But Bobby, we're talking about, hey, this thing started slowly, a twinkle in your eye, a thought in your mind. You started to put it into action. This thing became profitable late last year, and now we're getting ready. We're seeing this explosion in growth, not only in the miners, but the mine itself, and then, of course, the availability for people to buy and sell TEXIT also growing as well.
Yeah, it's come a long way, and, of course, we still have a very long way to go. Think about it. We're only 4% of the way towards the mine goal. We're building this 100 million megahash mine. Most people don't know what that means. Just think extremely large, extremely diversified, extremely decentralized, and extremely reliable. And so that's what we're building. We're 4% of the way there, but it feels like the tipping point because the size of our community and the acceleration of our growth is so extreme that it might only be a few months now until we're entirely sold out. And so that's what's exciting today. We're excited because people are seeing the connection between the dots that we've defined and the work that we do and the results that we want. And of course, ultimately, the results are clearly and well defined in the price of TEXIT Coin. So as the community gets bigger, as the mine gets bigger, our marketing budget grows, and in turn, the crypto community becomes more interested in acquiring TXC, the digital asset, as a speculative investment. And we need that in order for us to grow from beyond the $16 price target that we've established for February of 2026 up to $1,000 a coin, which is definitely within reach for us because of the mission that we have, the experience we have, the plan that we have. We're looking for a top 10 coin, and it's not a joke. Although there are plenty of joke coins in the top 10 and the top 20, we're a serious one. And once the world takes us seriously, you'll see the price of TEXIT Coin catapult way beyond where it is today in its infancy. And so we're building out those tools to make TEXIT Coin, the digital asset, more accessible for the crypto community. They use their own types of DeFi tools to speculate on meme coins and altcoins and, fun stuff. And so by putting TEXIT Coin in markets that those people understand and are able to engage, it makes it much more likely for the price of TEXIT coin to run, which is ultimately what we want. We want to build the big mine here. We want to launch the community currencies in Texas and around the country, but we also want to get rich as we're doing it. It's like I say, if you're not having a great time while you're fighting for freedom, you're doing it wrong. If you can't make money and be profitable while you're doing something good and worthwhile for freedom, then you're doing it all wrong. And that's what we've put together. That's what crypto is, the way we've designed it. A profitable opportunity to have a Bitcoin redo based on sound money principles. That's what we have with TEXIT coin.
And it's something where the way you set it up is exactly like that, which is, hey, we don't allow for the big money to come in. The most anybody can invest in TEXIT is 9 seats or $8,955. That's it. To get in, it's only $995, and anybody can get in. And then I love the reward system in place, which is, hey, if you want more mining power, or if you want to make this almost like a business, you get rewarded for bringing other people to the community. But that's it. That's the only way you can do it. You can't come in and say, hey, give me $1 million or $1 billion of mining shares and buy it all up and essentially hijack it, kind of like Bitcoin got hijacked.
Yes, that's exactly why we did it, because the same banks and institutions that Bitcoin set out to disrupt are the ones now that own the majority of it. And so, we've got this beautiful financial technology with cryptocurrency. A lot of people still don't understand it, and that's okay. It's confusing. I get that. We're here to hold your hand and take you through the wild, wild digital west of money and banking. But the point is that once you understand that this financial technology that is at the core of cryptocurrency is really quite possibly the greatest money that we've ever seen, then you'll start to say, okay, well, which version of that is best? Is it Bitcoin? Is it Ethereum? Is it XRP, Ripple? And I would have you consider TEXIT coin as the answer to that question, because it's built on the sound money principles that we've been working towards since 2008 when I started the American Open Currency Standard. But you painted a picture of the max that anyone's allowed to put in. I want to spend a minute and talk about the minimum, because the minimum is like, $1.75. The minimum is like, think about if you could go back in time and buy $10 worth of Bitcoin when it was $2. You would certainly do that. I mean, knowing what we know now about what the cryptocurrency industry has done, not just Bitcoin, but thousands of other coins that you've never even heard of. If you could go back in time, you'd grab $10 worth of Bitcoin, even if you don't understand it. You'd do it just knowing what you know now. And so we got to remember that, yeah, you can become a miner. Yeah, you can buy the maximum of, 9 mining seats on the rocket, but you can also just grab $10 worth. If you're in a financial position where you've got $5, $10, $20 to spare, pick up a handful if you like what we're doing. It's a vote of confidence for us. Every little bit pushes our project forward. And if we do, anything remotely close to what Bitcoin and the other majors did, that could be $1 million worth, sometime down the road. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. But if you like what we're doing and you want to put $10 in, you can certainly do that. It's very easy. It'll become easier in the next couple of days as we roll out the next round of technology. So there are lots of ways to get involved, big and small. And we don't want people getting scared off because they don't have $1,000. $1,000 for a lot of people is a lot of money today. And if that's you, that's all good, man. Grab $10 worth, put it in your sock drawer, forget about it, and watch where we can take this honest money rocket ship.
Bobby, would it be helpful if some of these miners were to start selling some of their coins? Would that help move this thing faster? Because I know that there's a lot of people, you can count me included, I'm hoarding it. I don't want to sell any of it. I want to load up.
Well,
would sales help?
It's not helpful. It's required. It's required for a couple different reasons. Number one, how do you know it's real until you sell a handful of TEXIT coin? We're all out here, we're mining it, we're talking about it, we're excited about the price of it increasing. But unless and until you take a handful of that, $10, $20, $30 worth, enough to buy yourself lunch today, unless you sell a handful of that, you can't really know in your heart of hearts that it's actually real. And so we require people to go through that because you prove to yourself that it's legitimate. And then you've taken yourself through the steps to actually sell some so that when we hit that goal that you were looking for and you're holding that coin in your hand and your coin is shaking because you're looking at this winning lottery ticket, we don't want you to press the wrong button, man. We want you to be experienced with monetizing TEXIT coins so that when the day comes for you to sell and get off the rocket ship and sail off into the sunset, you know exactly what you're doing. But the other thing that's really important is that by selling it, we're putting liquidity back into the marketplace. And the whales of the cryptocurrency world, they're not going to engage TEXIT coin until they can put $1 million in. And you can't buy $1 million worth of TEXIT coin today. We don't have enough sellers. Most of the people that are on our rocket ship are looking forward to our bright future, and that's great. But we need more people to sell. And so the guys that got in last year, April, May, June, that are sitting on big piles of TEXIT coin now, I'm saying, hey, guys, I need you to sell some of those. I need you to make some of those available because there are new people trying to get on the rocket ship, and we don't want the price of TEXIT coin to get too hot too fast because that results in a pump and dump. And so we want a nice, slow, steady, stair-step growth strategy up to our $16 goal by February. We know exactly what we have to do to get there. And in order for that to be accomplished, we need some people to sell some of their TEXIT coin. It's going to be the most frustrating thing you ever did, like that, 10,000 Bitcoin, two large pizzas that went down years and years and years ago. But we need that for our market to develop and mature. If everyone's holding, we don't have a market. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And on last Wednesday's Colorado meeting, and Mike Morris wanted to say hi to you. He was texting into me. We used myself as the example. I hadn't even signed up to DexTrade yet, so in front of the audience, we had 40 people there, and we signed me up to a DexTrade. We got an example coin on the side. I did sell 100 of my TEXIT coins, and we showed the audience. I did not buy any to replace it, so I sold a little bit. So it's not like I've sold none. So I know how to actually offload Bobby. So Joe,
just enough to become familiar with the process. Because look, once you understand how to do it, then you can teach other people how to do it, and that's how we get the education to really move forward. We're not just in this thing to get rich. We want it the same way that anybody else does, and it's happening right now. TEXIT coin has already changed many, many lives in a fundamental way, and that's great. We love hearing those stories. But what we know is that crypto is the future of money. This digital future is coming our way, and if we don't understand it, then we tend to be afraid of the things that we don't understand. If we don't engage it and it's forced onto us later and we get dragged into it kicking and screaming, two things happen. One is we develop a disdain for it, right? Think about how kind of grumpy you are about the fact that you could have gotten in on Bitcoin back when it was $5 or $10 or $100. You're kind of like a little butthurt about it, right? Some people have that story where, well, if I'd only listened to my brother-in-law, I wouldn't be having this conversation. Yeah, it's frustrating. So what happens is when these emerging technologies come along, we don't understand them, and therefore we don't engage them, and then we miss out on them. And so this is our opportunity to start learning about the crypto marketplace. And there are lots of legitimate, good projects in the crypto marketplace. But if you don't get it, if you don't understand it, if you don't know how to set up a Coinbase account, if you don't know how to convert and on-ramp some USD into USDC or USDT, then you're always going to miss it. And so the education component is such an important thing, and it starts with, setting up your wallet and then selling a handful of TEXIT coin and buying a cup of coffee or paying for lunch. And once you've gone through that process a time or two, now you understand it, you can help teach other people how to do it, and you can help more and more people become crypto literate, which is really a core priority at the very heart of our project.
Yep, and it's exactly what we're going to be getting to in the Phoenix meetings. The Colorado meetings, another one's coming next Wednesday. We'll be scheduling our future Phoenix meetings here very shortly, and getting everybody out there familiar with the process. Because the one thing, it's not like a bank. If you make a mistake, you don't, you call your credit card and they reverse the charges, or you call your bank and reverse the charges. in the crypto space, Bobby, there's no reversing the charges, so you got to know what you're doing.
There's no do-over. That's it. There's no refund. There's no fraud protection. You got to become aware of what the things are to watch out for, and you got to know how to navigate through that. And it's a real problem, man, because there's a scam around every corner. It's tough because digital risk runs 24/7. It's not like you have to worry about it when it's dark outside and people are wandering the street. Like, it happens all the time. When you least expect it, you've got some sort of digital scam knocking on your door. And so we gotta learn, man, because what we're doing with crypto is we're trusting the community instead of the central banker. We're tired of the central banks destroying the value of our dollar, and we're saying we've got to figure this out for ourselves. We have only each other to rely on, and if we don't figure it out, we're just going to keep getting our savings eroded away through inflation. So there's an incentive there. And if we figure it out and we do it well, we get to get rich. And that's an exciting upside. That's what's causing people to dip their toe in the water, that possibility. And TEXIT is the best rocket ship in the entire industry because it's the only thing that you can get involved with and have a direct ability to affect the outcome. And that is priceless.
Bobby, thank you so much. I know how busy you are for sharing just a few minutes with us today. We'll get Bobby back on again soon. But, Bobby, thanks again. 592, that is the number to call if you want to sign up for TEXIT. If you want to come to the meeting tonight, let us know you're going to be there, how many people are coming. We're going to feed everybody. Remember, 5:30. Inside of the Deer Valley Airport, 7th Avenue in Deer Valley, Barrio Brewing is the name of the restaurant there. You'll see the TEXIT signs. We'll have some TEXIT signs on the doors for you. We do have breaking news. Wow. Donald Trump now, according to White House officials, is likely to fire Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell soon. According to senior White House officials, the president is asking lawmakers about this. The president indicating that he is likely to fire Jay Powell very soon. Again, this has been a very sensitive point of contention between the head of the Federal Reserve, Jay Powell, and the president about interest rates. Donald Trump demanding that interest rates be lowered. And listen, we've gone through this. They are going to spend an ungodly amount of money. It's honestly, I know a lot of people out there, me included. I am a Trump fan. I voted for the guy 3 times. Okay. He doesn't have good choices. They're making the choice of let's just spend it. To hell with it. Let's not cause a recession. Let's not be fiscally responsible. Let's just go the other way. And you know what? I didn't do it, but we're here now. We got a $40 trillion, pretty much $40 trillion in debt, on our way to $100 trillion in debt. Let's just get there faster. But the one thing he knows that he can do to make it look a little better is to get these. And here's the thing: Donald Trump's not talking about a quarter point. No, he wants the Fed's funds rate to be 1%. We're at, 4.25%. Jay Powell was never going to deliver that, and now I think we've got to start questioning the Fed's independence. Wall Street does not like the news. Obviously, the gold market is loving the news right now. Gold's up 50. We'll see where it ends up. Is this going to be one of these $100 gold days? We'll see. Silver is higher as well. The Dow was up earlier a couple hundred points. Right now it's down 250. But, Jason, this is breaking news. According to White House officials, Donald Trump is going to fire Jay Powell soon. I don't know what soon means. I know they've got a meeting coming up in 3 weeks. Is he going to do it before that meeting so he can get a cut at that meeting?
Yeah, Joe, you were cutting out a little bit at the end, but you're saying, is he going to do it? I know a couple of days ago he was questioned, and Trump said, no, I'm not going to fire him, right? But listen, some people, Joe's more conventional thinking than I am. I always see, why? I always ask why and who benefits from any situation. This looks really ugly to me. This is once again, this is more WWF wrestling, Joe. Let me say why. If Trump so-called fires or removes Jerome Powell, this is going to make the Federal Reserve look good in the future. It's not their fault when the eventual collapse of the American economy and the banking system just gets stressed really bad, which is going to happen. How long have Joe and I since the COVID emergency said the Fed and the government has no good choice, raising or lowering rates, printing money, not printing money. They've run out of runway on this monetary cycle. Something bad will have to happen. So let's just trace the dots on this, Joe. Trump gets rid. I can even see where this makes Andrew Jackson look bad, believe it or not. That's how many dots I can connect. Donald Trump could be, if he removes Jerome Powell, it'll look just like when Andrew Jackson had to get rid of 2 Treasury secretaries because he wanted to remove the bank. He wanted to get rid of the bank. Now, we know the Fed hates Andrew Jackson, and so they deify him in history as being a villain. Donald Trump, if there's any mention, any link, because they like to put Trump with Andrew Jackson, it's not the same. Trump fires Powell. Trump's economy tanks. What does the Fed get to say? Well, that wasn't our decision for you to get rid of Powell. We had it. Everything was going good, and you got rid of our guy. Just like Andrew Jackson, bad, and it's a totally different situation because Trump is a part of this cesspool in Washington D.C. But Joe, this gives the Fed an out. It's going to happen, and I'll bet they'll put it all over the news. They'll make sure that enough financial people see this and make a big stink about it. And then when the eventual economic chaos, which is already going to happen, happens, well, it's not the Fed's fault; it's Trump's fault. Oh, well, dang.
Yeah, it's a game of setup, isn't it? Donald Trump wants to blame Jay Powell. The Federal Reserve may be able to blame Donald Trump. If this is true, and again, this is now pretty much everywhere, that now CBS is saying that Donald Trump spoke to a bunch of lawmakers about firing Jay Powell. Bloomberg is reporting that White House officials are now confirming that Jay Powell's ouster is imminent.
Yeah.
So it looks like Donald Trump is going to move and move quickly. Obviously, I think he wants to beat the meeting. Right? He wants to beat the meeting. He wants rate cuts. I actually see a scenario right now, and how crazy is this? Will Scott Bessent be the Treasury Secretary and the head of the Federal Reserve Bank? I think that's what's going to happen. I think least in the interim, they are going to put him in charge of both and then figure out which position they want to replace if they're going to move quickly. In other words, if they're going to fire Powell today or Friday, this is one of the things I think a mistake here. Why this should be something that leaks out Friday after the markets close, not before. It's going to be interesting. I don't think Wall Street gets clobbered here. And the reason I say that is they're probably thinking, heck yes, we're going to get huge rate cuts coming. That's going to really help the stock market, so to speak. Maybe it'll save the housing market. I know this. As we said, we've told you this inflation's coming back. This is going to speed the process. Patriot Radio News Hour will be back after the break. 1-800-951-0592. Joe and Jason. Breaking news. Donald Trump, numerous reports now that Jay Powell's firing is imminent. This is a big change from what we were hearing, even just a few days ago, that he was unlikely to fire Jay Powell. Remember, we got the inflation data yesterday. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, right? Inflation moved higher. We did get PPI today. It wasn't that bad. But I think Donald Trump wants rate cuts and wants lots of them. Gold's up over $50 here, approaching $33.70. Silver just below $38. Just like I thought. Wall Street's down, but not a ton. The Dow's down less than 100 points here. The S&P's down 16. The Nasdaq's down 75. Why? Well, because, hey, he's going to get a guy in there. They're not going to cut rates once. Forget about 25 basis points. Right? He's going to want a guy in there that's going to take 50. Heck, who knows, maybe a full point. Somebody that's going to say, hey, I want to get the Fed's funds rates down to 2% or 1%. The dollar is in free fall right now, which makes a lot of sense because this will be weaker dollar for sure. I'm surprised. I really was surprised. But at the same time, not that surprised because of the amount of front loading that is in the big, beautiful bill. This would probably be the only way to try to keep the deficits below $3 trillion plus a year is to lessen the amount of interest we have to pay on all this debt, Jason. And remember, over the next 60 days, we've got to issue a lot of it because of the emergency measures that we had been in. And it looks like Donald Trump definitely wants to move before the next Fed meeting and get a big rate cut in it. That's what it looks like anyway, at least this second. Now, 10 minutes from now, things can change. But this is what is coming out of multiple news sources now, that Jay Powell's firing is imminent.
Yeah, this makes me really angry. If Trump was this, he's such a fraud. If he really was wanting to save this country and fix this country, he'd just cut the legs out from underneath the Fed and end the bank. If he really wants to control the rates and control the markets, get rid of the Fed. I'd rather have Trump bumbling through running the Treasury than having the Fed corruptly run what the Fed is. I don't think Trump is even making this decision. He's great at business and he's great at land and building things, but from everything I can tell financially, he gets his advice from somebody else, and so he's not making this decision on his own. I know what Trump wants. Trump wants his presidency to look very successful. But financially, I don't think he has any play, and the Fed has no play. And so the Fed wants to, what the bankers do every single time, they give the responsibility off to somebody else. And so this is going to happen. Joe, you might be right. This thing goes down, you're going to see a lot of it in the press, and Jerome Powell will look like this victim from this evil, overreaching, madman Trump. That's how the liberal media will put it out there. And then things will crash and break. And then everyone's going to finger point. The Trump people will be like, well, it would have been better if blah, 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 blah. And then the Fed, the banks will be like, well, we were doing a fine job. And look at all the numbers, Joe, since the COVID emergency and with all the inflation isn't where it should be, but it sure is better than what it might turn into here pretty soon. Are we going to get an inflationary fire that's going to be twice as big as what we went through in 2021, 2022? I think that's going to happen. And here, remember, you guys got to remember this. The peanut gallery at Trump's inauguration, he's got more billionaires working around him than any other administration in history. This is going to make asset prices go crazy for a while. I see record prices in Bitcoin, the stock market, gold, TEXIT coin, because a lot of money is going to start pouring in. And when you get those rates down, there's going to be, I think, a lot of well-understood economists are going to say, hey, the rates are coming down, and we don't know if it's going to be this low ever again. Borrow, baby, borrow. Borrow, baby, borrow, and put it on the stock market. Put it in gold. Put it in Bitcoin, and get it into assets because the dollar is being shredded. And it's just right there in front of you, Joe. It's right there. This should not be done. Trump should just let Jerome Powell do whatever he's going to do, and then just keep pointing. If Trump really wants to look good, he should just let Jerome Powell make the decisions. And when this thing burns, then he could blame the Fed. He's making it obvious that the Fed is not going to get blamed here. It's going to be the government. It's going to be Trump. It's so rigged. It's so rigged.
Yeah, today's special, and it's another great one here. $10 liberties, 1 through 9, 17.55. 10 or more, 17.50. That is now well below the price of a $20 gold piece. So scoop in here. Take advantage of what we're seeing in the marketplace. I think this is, again, a very big move by the president. Obviously, the people that surround the president are telling him, hey, for this to work, remember, what are they trying to do? They're trying to convince us that by spending even more money, by going even further into debt, we can grow our way out, right? That's what they're saying. Which, obviously, if countries could do that, everybody would do that, right? Let's just keep printing the money. We'll grow our way out. They're telling him that they need a huge drop in rates to do it, which, let me tell you right now, we will get growth out of that for a little while. Then the pain comes, right? And that's the thing. That's what's coming. Get in here, 800-951-0592. Get your assets protected with gold, and then get to your crypto with TEXIT. Let me tell you something, brother. You're fired, right? Yes, WWE in full effect. Breaking news, if you just joined us, President Trump now likely to fire Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell soon. Matter of fact, White House officials saying his firing is imminent. Right now, no one knows what to do. Gold knows what to do. Gold's higher, silver's higher. Wall Street's down a little bit, but Wall Street's like, well, wait a minute. If you fire him, that means whoever's going to run it.
Party time.
It's going to be cut time, baby. Time to cut them. Here we go. Get your wealth protected. Here's going to be the good thing. Maybe. I wonder what the bond. You know what? Let's see. Is the 10-year note? The 10-year note's still at 4.48. So the 10-year note's like, I don't believe it yet. I don't believe it yet. Believe me, if he fires him, they will announce, somebody, now it could be Bissett, that's my guess, at least temporarily, but we'll see. Whoever he appoints, they're immediately going to come out and say, we're going to cut rates, and they're going to try to keep that Treasury market in check. So everybody hang on to your hats. $10 liberties, screaming sale. 1 through 9, 17.55. 10 or more, 17.50 at 800-951-0592. And don't forget the TEXIT meeting tonight in the Deer Valley Air Park, 7th Avenue in Deer Valley. Starts at 5:30. If you haven't signed up for TEXIT yet, what are you waiting for? But here's the great part. You call, you protect some more of that wealth. Then you say, I want to sign up for TEXIT, and you can do it all at one place right here at Patriot at 800-951-0592. But Jason, hey, Trump's got balls. I'll give him that.
Really?
There's no doubt about it.
I think he's just being ordered to do something dumb. I don't know if that's courage. Is that courage? No, that's just marching to his master's orders. I mean, we got a text that came in. The Fed will be dissolved forever. Q. Gold shall destroy the Fed. This is exactly what this is supposed to do. You've got the communists, which are the Democrats, and then you got communist light, which is the Republicans, and they've captured one side of the argument, and so you have the conspiracy type crowd that's like, hey, we want the people to have the power, and they give you a story to swallow, like the Q movement, and you think that gold is going to take over the Fed. Listen, that's not happening. You know, we sell gold and silver, and gold and silver is an important asset, especially the way the monetary system is. But gold has been used throughout history to destroy governments and take over countries. Gold can be weaponized just the same as the dollar. Now, Joe and I, what we try to do is get you into places that economically helps you out. But the Fed could use the dollar against the population. You got to get rid of the central bank. That's not what Trump is talking about here. He's talking about getting rid of a figurehead, so that when things go bad, Trump will take the blame. It is the wrong move if you're a Trumper, if you're somebody that likes Trump, this is the wrong move for your guy. And your guy, I don't think he even cares whether he does the move or not. He's in a position. He's a figurehead. He's a puppet. So here we go, Joe.
There you go.
It's going to happen just like
800 951.
Huge rise in assets and then a big crash. Yep. And what is that, 26?
Yep. Gold
27?
hey, how about this? The Dow just turned positive. See, I told you so. By the way, I just got news. TEXIT billboards lighting up all over Phoenix. Check them out. They're going to be lit up as early as today. So when you're on the freeways in Phoenix, you're going to be seeing TEXIT all over the place. Hey, here's some great news. Jason and I get to come back with the half-empty cup, and I think